Hello. Now coming to the third part of wear, where we will discuss about the fatigue wear, surface fatigue wear. So, if you just quickly remember that under surface fatigue category there are 4 subcategories of wear. So, basic difference between surface fatigue wear and other kind of wear is that in surface fatigue the load is actually fluctuating in nature instead of static compressive for other case of wear. So, in this particular case we observe usually 4 different types of wear or wear proceeds in 4 different modes. One is pitting wear, spalling wear, impact wear and brenneling. So, now coming to the first type of wear, that is pitting wear. So, basic features or maybe common feature of all types of wear is that there in all cases the load is actually fluctuating in nature, and as a result of which the fatigue is the main mechanism for initiation of the damage during wear. So, in case of pitting wear, the name is after the look of the surface after the wear has occurred. So, after pitting wear the surface looks like small pitted surface, pitted zone. So, if you see the pitted wear surface you will find small pits on the surface, and pits are pit area as well as pit depth depends on the kind of applied load as well as the meeting surface. And in this particular case again you will find that the typical load is fluctuating in nature, and examples of the pitting wear is cam paths, gear paths, rail and metal tires. If you see the cases you will find that in all cases the component is subjected to heavy load which is compressive and zero in nature, that is fluctuating in nature, and there is also sliding phenomena. So, sliding velocity is there or sliding movement is there, in addition to that there is that compressive zero kind of loading. So, in this case what happens is that because of compressive and zero loading there is subsurface crack initiation at the point of discontinuity. So, if the component is coated surface, then at that point of interface there is a pit initiation or crack initiation. If it is a component of composite in nature, then you will find that at the interface between the second phase and matrix there is crack initiation, and as soon as the crack initiates it propagates at a much faster rate and causing the chip formation, and then materials get removed. So, after the end of the wear you find lot of pits on the surface. So, typical surface treatments are carburizing, selective hardening. So, in this case if you are interested to combat the fatigue wear, any kind of fatigue wear, you have to be careful about toughness as well in addition to hardness. So, carburizing operation, then typical hardening, and then you have to go for tempering operation. Selective hardening you have to go for, and then you have to, if necessary, you have to go for tempering operation. So, these are the treatment you have to follow in order to improve the service life of the component under the action of pitting wear. Spalling wear is a kind of wear where there is spallation, continuous spallation of the material from the surface. This is the typical kind of wear which is observed on the coated system having very weak interface. The examples include electroless plating, electroplating, CVD, physical vapor deposition, chemical vapor deposition. In those all coated component, if subjected to fatigue loading or compressive and zero wear loading during wear, you will find that the problem starts or crack initiation occurs at the interface between the coating and that of substrate, and then subsequently there is failure of the material by subsurface crack formation and crack propagation process. So, spalling wear is quite dangerous form of wear. So, where there is possibility of spallation or spalling wear, then you have to avoid the coated surface or use the surface treated component where the interface is very much strong and adherent. So, typical examples are like coated cam and gears, plated mechanical stops, thin plating on reciprocating system, there basically you find this kind of wear. So, if you are interested to get rid of this kind of wear, you have to think of applying a coating which is, or applying a hard face layer which is hard as well as tough in nature, and better avoid the coated component in those cases. Third type of wear is impact wear. Again here impact loading, very heavy load is applied on the surface for a very short duration, and then again if load is released. So, there the kind of wear you see is called impact wear. So, this is again fatigue wear or fluctuating loading, but loading unloading time is very less, actually very low. You load it for a very short of time and then very short duration and then unload it, load for a very short duration and unload it. So, when the component is subjected to heavy loading and unloading for a very short duration, there the kind of wear you see is called impact wear. Typical examples include hammer heads, riveting tools, pneumatic drills, so which is subjected to heavy loading for a very short period of time, and then immediately after that you unload it. So, very high compressive loading and unloading, this is responsible for this kind of wear. So, if you see the surface, you will find that there is deformation on the surface, then there is subsurface failure, and then removal of the material in chunk. So, usually if you see the surface, you will find very big holes on the surface present in a discontinuous fashion. So, if you are interested to get rid of or minimize or take precautionary measure to minimize this kind of wear, you have to look for the hard facing operation, and hard facing different iron, cobalt or nickel based superalloys are hard faced alloys are available. So, you apply typical weld overlaying technique in order to develop the hard faced layer on the surface, and that layer will help the component to avoid that impact wear. And finally, brenneling is a kind of phenomena which again is a wear, but in brenneling there is no loss of material, but deshaping of the component. So, brenneling is a kind of phenomena which again occurs on the wheels on rails, rolling elements bearings or mold faces, where there is static overloading of the component, or maybe when you keep the car in the hailing environment where hailstorms are there. So, they are basically small stones, they basically get indented on the surface of the car body. So, after the indentation is over, you get indented mark on the surface. Though there is no material loss, but basically there is a deshaping of the component or deshaping of the body. So, that is of no use, so naturally you have to repair it. Again this is the loss of the component. So, if you are interested to get rid of brenneling, then again you have to avoid the typical impact phenomena, or otherwise you have to apply very thin elastomers on the surface, which will actually, which is a shock absorber, and subsequently reduce the probability of the brenneling wear in actual service. Now, in summary we can say that we discussed about different types of wear, and particularly adhesive wear, abrasive wear, then erosive wear as well as surface fatigue. So, in all kinds of wear, the different, though they are of different modes, but one special feature which is common for all kinds of wear is that if you increase the hardness, naturally you can reduce the probability of wear. So, this is the first thumb rule. So, if you can increase the surface hardness by some extent, you can certainly reduce the probability of wear. Second important thumb rule is that if you can reduce the coefficient of friction, you can definitely reduce the wear phenomena or probability of wear. Third thumb rule is that if you just reduce the hardness differences, naturally that, or the other way, like increasing the hardness of your component or reduce the hardness differences, then naturally you can reduce the probability of this type of wear. And finally, you can also reduce the probability of this particular wear by typical application of lubricants, when it is especially the adhesive wear driven mechanism. So, these are the different ways by which you can combat the probability of different types of wear, and this is the slide which shows you the information about application of different surface treatment techniques since the last decades and also since last several years, which are applied on the component in order to reduce the probability of the wear in service. For example, in the bronze age there used to be bronze bearings, then iron bearings, then case hardening of iron is very old process for improving the hardness and reducing the wear rate of the ball and roller bearing process in 133 BC. Again, if you see the wear driven machine, there people applied different types of oils in order to reduce the coefficient of friction in man and animal driven machine. Then in steam driven machine, they applied different types of different modern steel they applied instead of typical iron, or that iron was replaced by different modern steel which was having higher wear resistance property. In addition to that, the lubricant application is was quite common since over long past decades and years, and finally the tool steel was invented, and when tool steel was invented it was having very high hardness. So, hydraulic and pneumatic devices, internal combustion engines, they were actually replaced or they were developed by manufactured by tool steel. And hard facing and weld overlaying were another very important technique which started operating since 1977 or so, even 1900. Since 1900 they started applying CVD and also hard facing, weld overlaying, cold cladding, roll cladding. So, these are very old technique, but steel came long after the actual application of the lubricants. Then vacuum coating technique came into picture in 1977, and after the invention of laser and electron beam, people started applying the laser cladding, laser surface treatment process, and then ion implantation, PVD coated substrate. So, right now if you just see the scenario, people do apply weld overlaying, people do apply nitriding, carburizing process, different laser, electron beam or plasma based process as well as physical vapor deposition and chemical vapor deposition technique in order to improve the hardness of the surface, and as a result of which they just get improved performance of the component. Now, if you quickly go through the role of hardness on the wear, you will find that as you go on increasing the hardness, naturally you will find that this is the case for abrasive wear as well as erosive wear. If you just go on increasing the hardness, naturally you will find that after a certain hardness value, cutting mechanism play important role, and on the other hand the elastic modulus also plays very important role, the ratio of elastic modulus and typical surface energy which we saw earlier, that it plays important role in determining the coefficient of friction. So, as you go on reducing the E by C, that surface energy value, then you will find that coefficient of friction also reduces, and as a result of which you will find that then wear volume also increases. So, basically if you just quickly summarize, you will find that the material parameters which play important role in determining the wear behavior of the component, they are hardness, they are Young's modulus, they are surface energy, they are toughness. So, these all parameters play important role in determining the wear behavior of the material. So, whenever you design any component for improved wear resistance, you have to think of the kind of wear that is operating and also think of the materials parameters which you are based on which you are designing the component. Now, if you quickly go through the different wear parameters, as I mentioned you, wear parameters and also material parameters. Wear parameters means the different types of wear which are operating and the characteristics of the different kinds of wear. You can easily understand the characteristics of different kind of wear when we discussed about different modes of wear. So, for example, if you talk about characteristics of low stress abrasion, that there the surface looks like fine scratching, full of fine scratches. When you talk about high stress abrasion, on the surface there is formation of deep scratches as well as big holes on the surface. When you talk about typical polishing wear, then surface looks like polished in nature. When you talk about gouging wear, again on the surface there are presence of big holes on the surfaces. Along with that, there are also scratch marks. So, these features are very important to be noted down, otherwise it would be very difficult for you to recommend typical surface treatment technique which you are applying for combating that kind of wear. Similarly, if you talk about characteristics features of the erosion, in solid impingement there are very fine pit formation. Fluid impingement, there are always the impingement marks as well as pits are there. Cavitation erosion, there are formation of big cavities on the surface. In slurry erosion again, there are formation of large numbers of pits on the surface having discontinuity, having typical directionalities. If you talk about adhesive wear, in fretting wear you will find that on the surface there is a small pit formation as well as fold formation. Simple adhesive wear you will find there is always a point of the adhesive joint formation which are present, and the pits are there in a discontinuous fashion. In scissoring there is actually joint formation between the two surfaces. In gulling wear there is again the flow of the surface is observed, there is material flow, and as a result of which there is deshaping of the component. And in oxidative wear there are presence of oxides on the surface, which if you are interested to know, you have to go for typical X-ray diffraction analysis to know the kind of oxide that is forming and how it is present on the surface. Similarly, in surface fatigue also pitting phenomena, pitting wear can be concluded on by observation of the surface. You will find small pits are there. Spalling wear you will find spallation of the coating on the surface. In impact wear you will get impact mark on the surface, and in brineling there is drained formation. So, these are typical characteristics of different kinds of wear, and one important thing that is that you should know is that depending on the characteristics you have to know which kind of precautions you should take or which kind of surface treatment techniques you should apply in order to get rid of different types of wear. Now, if you quickly go through the ways by which you can measure the kinetics and mechanism of wear, it is very important. Whenever you see the failure of the component, you have to first of all from the investigation of the failed surface, you get to know about the kind of failure that is predominating in that particular component for a given application. But on the other hand, it is important that you should also know the way by which you can measure the kinetics of that particular failure as well as know the mechanism of that failure. So, if you quickly go through the kinetics of the wear measurement, there are different ways by which kinetics of the wear may be measured. So, like pin on disc wear testing machine, ball on disc wear testing machine, different wear testing units are available, where the component is used as a pin somewhere, the component sometimes is used as disc as well, and there is a relative motion between the two surfaces. You can just have the simulated condition by applying lubricants, by increasing the temperature, by applying the different liquids in between, so that the component the environment is a little bit simulative environment as that of is used in actual condition, and then you have a relative movement between the two surfaces. So, the movement may be the sliding, it may be reciprocating movement, it may be fretting movement. These all movements you can always control externally with the help of the software, and by you can vary the load, you can vary the time. So, what you do is that you try to find out the total amount of material loss, or you measure the mass loss of the material as a function of time, as a function of the sliding velocity, as a function of applied load, as a function of temperature, as a function of the media concentration or media composition. So, these all things you measure and then finally find out the specific wear rate or normal wear rate as a function of time. So, this for example, in case of abrasive wear, you do not give any kind of lubricant, you just have the abrasive meeting surface, and your surface is there is the component surface, you have the relative movement between the two surfaces. If it is adhesive wear, then your another mating surface must be of similar composition based on the actual service condition of the component, so that adhesive joint formation is promoted. In case of surface fatigue, you can have fluctuating motion instead of static motion, static compressive loading of the surface. In case of fretting wear, you can always induce fretting motion between the two surfaces with the help of the oscillation. So, like that you can simulate the conditions, so that different modes of wear, as I had discussed, they are actually their condition is fulfilled, and at the end of the wear test, if it is erosion testing, then in that case your media is not solid, and that kind of testing which you apply is a little different. There basically you have the media which is made of, which is full of liquid or foreign particles, solid particles dispersed in the liquid, and then you have the movement of your component, relative movement of the component, which is done by either by moving the liquid or maybe by movement of your component, and then at regular interval of time you measure the loss of mass because of the wear. Usually you will find that in all kind of wear, abrasive, adhesive and surface fatigue, these all kind of wear rate is proportional to that of the hardness of the surface. Like higher the hardness of the surface, lower will be the wear rate. Wear rate will be proportional to the applied load, inversely proportional to the hardness of the surface. Wear rate will be proportional to wear will be the proportional to applied load, and wear will also be proportional to the sliding distance. So, there is typical Archer's equation which actually gives you information about the kinetics of wear or rate of wear, which actually which is nothing but it is proportional to applied load, proportional to that sliding distance, and inversely proportional to that of hardness, and there is a proportionality constant which is actually called K, and coefficient in case of adhesive wear it is completely coefficient of friction, but in case of other mode of wear, along with coefficient of friction there are also several other factors which come into picture, but it is a constant value for the specific materials combination in a specific environment. So, by this particular ways you can measure the kinetics of the wear, and if you are interested to know the mechanism of wear, then you have to go for typical microstructural observation of the failed surface after wear. So, usually what you do is that you take the failed surface, you do scanning electron microstructural observation after without proper cleaning, because if you clean then you will lose the wound debris. So, without cleaning you see it under microscope, you see what are there on the surface, and if it is naturally high vacuum scanning electron microscopy, you have to clean the surface, you cannot take the component along with the wound debris, but if it is low vacuum scanning electron microscopy, you can always see it with the debris. So, if it is high vacuum system, then you have to collect the debris, so you can analyze it separately, you can collect the debris as well as surface, then you can go for X-ray diffraction analysis to know what are the phases that are present in the debris as well as what are the phases that are present on the surface, and you can also do micro hardness measurement on the surface to see whether there is any change in hardness. But typically if you do scanning electron microscopic observation and X-ray diffraction technique, you get the idea about the mode by which the wear proceeded in your case. So, scanning electron microscopic observation is very important, it gives 75% of the information, and X-ray diffraction technique gives you information about the composition change on the surface. For example, after wear usually there should not be any change in composition, but if it is adhesive wear there may be some compound formation at the interface between the adhesive joints because of change in temperature, because of the materials combinations. For example, you go on having the movement of copper on aluminum surface. So, in that case copper and aluminum there, if you go through the phase diagram you will find that there are a lot of aluminide formation, in the phase diagram. So, if there is adhesive joint formation, if temperature is very high over there, you will find that there is aluminide formation at the interface, and that aluminide will naturally won't be there as aluminide and then adhesive joint, because in that case the mode of wear will be scissoring kind of things. Neither in copper aluminum combinations there is a scissoring phenomena, but if that aluminide forms, then naturally during wear the aluminum will get detached from the aluminum surface, because aluminum is having lower hardness. So, as it is detached from the aluminum surface, it gets accumulated at the interface between copper and aluminum. So, when it gets accumulated at the interface between copper and aluminum, naturally it would aggravate the wear further, because after that if you see the wear mechanism, it would no more be the typical adhesive wear, it would be abrasive wear, because the aluminides are harder than both copper and aluminum. So, when they are present as hard particles at the interface, they will cause the wear of both copper and aluminum. So, this is very interesting phenomena. So, whenever you talk about adhesive wear, you will find that initial mechanism of wear or initiation of the wear is because of adhesive joint formation, but propagation occurs because of three body wear actually. So, this three body wear can be abrasive wear, can be adhesive wear, can be anything. For example, if at the interface there would be copper formation, then naturally the three body, because of three body wear, the wear rate would be reduced to a little extent, because the presence of copper would act as a lubricant. So, after the three body wear, you will find that there will be loss of contact between the two surfaces. So, as a result of which it helps in reducing the wear kinetics. So, the three particles which are forming at the interface is very important, and which gives you information about the mechanism of wear. So, as a result of which it is very important that after the wear is over, you basically collect the wound particles and then do XRD analysis to know the kind of particles that has formed, and to also infer informations on the mechanism of wear. So, this is what is shown here. For example, what you do for the mechanism of wear, you have to analyze the wound surfaces, you have to do the wound debris analysis properly, and you have to also see the or analyze the lubricants which was added, if at all, during the service, and finally you can go for also transmission electron microscopic observation if you are very much sure about any layer formation on the surface. So, these in a joint way gives you, or combiningly these all investigations give you information about the mechanism of wear, and when you know about the kinetics and mechanism of wear, it is very easy for you to judge to assess the reliability of the component in actual service, as well as to take precautions so that the failure does not occur because of the wear. So, in this talk we discussed about different types of wear, and then we discussed about the parameters which influence the wear, the external factors which influence the wear kinetics, the way you can measure the wear kinetics and also mechanism, and how to improve the or minimize the wear rate of the material or component in service. Thank you very much.